Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I'll be giving you my very delayed but very positive review for the latest and certainly not the last DC film to grace us. I know a lot of people are calling this the end of the DCU, but it doesn't feel like an ending, and I'm not going to treat it as such. If anything, it's the end of the post-Zack Snyder era, which frankly I feel like we only have ourselves to blame, as well as several Warner Brothers executives, but I think the fans are a bit at fault for it as well. But anyway, that's a separate conversation. But this doesn't feel like the ending. If anything, it just felt like the end to this particular story in Aquaman, if that makes sense, in the Aquaman franchise. That is just these two films. Anyway, I am giving you my delayed film review for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which dropped a month ago, a couple weeks ago at this point, and I actually saw it when I was back home over the holidays a few weeks ago. Really enjoyed it, but of course I didn't have a chance to do my film review, so I just got back from a screening of it just now, so it's fresh on my mind, and I can share my thoughts with you guys about what I thought of it. Now, keep in mind, if you haven't seen this movie and you still plan to, you don't want to keep watching or listening to this review, as I will be going into spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive in, pun intended. So in short, I really, really enjoyed it. I can't say I loved it like I loved the first one, but damn, this was a worthy follow-up, a hell of a sequel, and it was thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable on multiple levels. Gorgeous underwater scenery, incredible underwater action sequences, great fight scenes, remarkable, unbelievable, unforgettable sea creatures, both, sentient and non-sentient alike. There were so many awesome monsters and creatures throughout this movie, some that appeared briefly, some that appeared throughout the whole thing. I just enjoyed it all. I had ate it up so much. This almost felt like Lord of the Rings underwater, That's what this movie felt like to me, which was more than okay with me. I mean, I'm all down for an epic underwater fantasy. Clearly, I loved the first Aquaman. It remains to be my favorite DC film. And I also thoroughly enjoyed another very much aquatic-themed adventure from about a year ago, Avatar: The Way of Water. Absolutely loved that as well. So I really, really enjoyed Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I mean, I couldn't bring myself quite to love it because it didn't quite check all the boxes for me. Like, I was hoping for another large-scale underwater final battle like we got at the end of the first Aquaman movie when Atlantis attacked the Brine Kingdom along with Zebul and the Fisherman Kingdom, and then Aquaman showed up riding on the back of that awesome monster, and then all the sea creatures came pouring in as reinforcements. That was a grand final battle to me, and I was hoping we would get something like that, but instead, we got a bunch of really memorable, awesome action sequences that felt a bit more intimate and personal because they were more one-on-one battles between multiple characters going up against other henchmen or creatures or undead monster soldiers like they were facing off against in the Lost Kingdom. So that was okay too. It was still quite satisfactory. I am quite satisfied and happy with what I got. And I may not have gotten a grand final underwater battle, but I did get something else I really wanted to see, which was much more Black Manta. He's one of my favorite characters, and I absolutely love the fact that he had a much bigger role in this movie, and he was far more nefarious, sinister, brutal, and evil. And I like to think that he's not completely beyond redemption, because I believe that he very well could be, because he was under the influence of the Black Trident and that ancient evil when he thought about sacrificing baby Arthur to release that evil power onto the world. And I think he can be a lot more reasonable when he's not under the influence of the Black Trident. I know we kind of saw him fall to his death, supposedly, but keep in mind, we didn't actually watch him die. We just watched him get buried. So I'm hoping that he will return in the new DC soft reboot universe under James Gunn and Peter Safran as Black Manta. I hope he continues to be played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and hopefully we see him return in some capacity, whether it's in a third Aquaman movie. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Whether it's in a third Aquaman film or another DC movie, I just hope we get to see Black Manta again, as he is probably my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite characters. But he was fantastic in this. I'm sorry. Pardon me. My apologies. I have a bit of a runny nose, if you couldn't tell. He was one of my favorite parts of this movie. He had a much bigger role, a lot more nefarious, way more powerful, had multiple fights against Aquaman that were all quite memorable and very action-packed and very cool. And I thought he did a great job. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II did a great job. Everybody did a great job in their respective roles. I enjoyed everybody in this movie. And the visuals were spectacular. The underwater stuff was amazing. This was a worthy follow-up to Aquaman. Not quite perfect, but then again, it doesn't have to be. No movie has to be perfect. It just has to be entertaining. And as long as you like it as an individual, that's what really matters. So I personally enjoyed it very, very much. I loved the banter between Orm and Aquaman. I loved the fact that the Brine King had a slightly bigger role in this movie than the last movie, and we got to see more of his face for once. I also love the undertones of climate change and the crisis that our planet faces, and how Aquaman was pushing for an alliance with the United Nations, which he seemed to get at the end of the film, or at least made himself an ambassador to the UN on Atlantis' behalf. So, oh God, I also loved the big hammerhead shark men that they faced off against in the Sunken Citadel, that seedy underbelly of the underwater society where pirates of human and non-humans alike go there to gamble, drink, and whatnot. That was an awesome taste and an addition to the Aquaman verse. So there's just a lot to enjoy about this movie. In fact, I liked it so much, I want to see it at least one more time before it leaves theaters, which will probably be very soon. So I enjoyed it very much, as I hope you guys did as well. What did you think of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Any favorite parts? Any standout moments? Any favorite characters? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section, and have a wonderful rest of your night. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is currently playing in theaters. Not sure for how much longer. Don't know when it'll be on Max or any streaming platform for that matter. Probably not for another couple months or so. So in the meantime, you can still catch it in theaters. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great night. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.